It's interesting too because Dr. Seuss, although he writes the Mulberry Street in 37, at that time he's also making a name for himself doing cartooning for advertising. There was a bug spray called Flit that he became famous for. And then in addition to that, he did a lot of political cartooning prior to World War II, or involvement in World War II, combating the isolationism and that was espoused by Charles Lindbergh, and then went to work for the War Department during the war, actually making adult training films for the military. So he had this whole other life doing these things before he really, even though there's some of these books that he read along the way, it wasn't until Cat in the Hat in 55 that he really kind of, was full force into, trying to, help us read better and learn how to read better in a much more engaged way, and trying to continue that literacy and the creating of the beginner book series that was not just him, but guys like P.D. Eastman and some of the other authors that were part of that publishing house. So now what I'd like to do is read to you chapter 14 called Green Eggs and Ham, 1960 to 1963. Each of Ted's arrivals at Random House with a new Dr. Seuss book was cheerily anticipated through the often pedestrian days and occasionally abrasive explosions in a book publisher's world. You have no idea, Bob Bernstein said, what to expect from him next. Thus, a celebratory tone marked an inter-office memorandum in 1960 from Louise Bonino to the inner Random House family. You are invited to stop in my office on April 19th at 11 o'clock when the great Dr. Seuss will give us the first reading of his fall beginner book, Green Eggs and Ham. But Bennett Cerf, who was chairing a Peabody Awards luncheon that day, had rescheduled a reading for a small dinner party at which he would be sure to serve as master of ceremonies. Helen, ever apprehensive, wrote him in a pleading warning, "Don't say the great Dr. Seuss in person. That makes him feel as if he's got to have something extra, like horns for 3 years." "If you do not like the book," Helen wrote Bonino, "we will return to our swimming pool on the next plane." But when Ted read Green Eggs and Ham aloud that evening, the room erupted with huzzas and demands that he read it again. For once, Bennett seemed dazed, shaking his head over the clear triumph of Green Eggs and Ham, which had begun as a private joke, as their private joke. He had made a ceremony of conceding Ted his $50 bet, but Ted's recollection was that Cerf never paid. Ted had met Cerf's challenge by writing Green Eggs and Ham with a vocabulary of precisely 50 words. His worksheets were evidence of marathon wordplay, charts, lists, number counts, mundane bookkeeping that the world's removed from its result, the exquisite nonsense of Sam I Am. The statistics of Ted's ordeal were ground into his memory. The words he had used most were not 82 times and I 81 times, and each word was monosyllabic except anywhere, which was used 8 times. The animator, Chuck Jones, who had helped create Bugs Bunny, offered an insider's critique of Green Eggs. Oddity, he argued, is the key to such creativity. The most interesting thing is the unexpected. Ted took the common phrase, ham and eggs, and commanded attention by reversing it. He compared it with phrasings found in the Pennsylvania Dutch or Yiddish, in which the subject comes last, as in, "He doesn't like the opera, my father." Ted's stuff, Jones says, has the quality of puzzlement. He uses Sam I Am, not just Sam. And Sam I Am not only rhymes with Green Eggs and Ham, but it has the same metric emphasis. Critics did not overlook the Seussian tone of defiance. Sam I Am drives his victim crazy, pursuing him everywhere while he urges him to eat something disgusting. Literature has seldom afforded children an opportunity to ally themselves with such open antagonism. Ted was building on the breakthrough of the Cat in the Hat, whose boisterous rampage in the absence of adults went unpunished, alarming some of the school establishment who felt safer with Dick and Jane and considered the cat a trickster hero. Thereafter, plates of green eggs pursued Ted at luncheons and banquets almost as relentlessly as awful Dr. Seuss parodies composed by showboating critics and masters of ceremonies. And I will turn it over to Cordelia, who is going to read Yeartle the Turtle.
Yeartle the Turtle. On the faraway island of Salomon Sound, Yeartle the Turtle was the king of the pond. A nice little pond, it was clean, it was neat. The water was warm, there was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were, until Yeartle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. "I'm ruler," said Yeartle, "of all that I see, but I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. With this stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. I ought to be higher, he said with a frown. If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king, I'd be ruler of all that I could see. So Yeartle the turtle lifted his hand, and Yeartle the turtle king gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his throne, and using these turtles he built a new throne. And he made each turtle stand on one another's back, and he piled them up, a 9-turtle stack. And then Yeartle climbed up, he sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view, he could see almost a mile. All mine, Yeartle cried. Oh, the things I now rule. I'm the king of the cow, and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, and what's more beyond that, I'm a king of a blueberry bush and a cat. And Yeartle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. And all through that morning he sat up high, saying over and over, a great king am I. Until long about noon, then he heard a faint sigh. What's that? Snapped the king as he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac, just a part of his throne, a plain little turtle, looked up and said, Beg your pardon, King Yeartle, I've pains in my back and shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? Silence, the king of the turtles barked back. I'm king and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, a bush, and a cat. But that isn't all. I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher, his wail voice thundered. So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. Turtles, more turtles, he bellowed and brayed, and the turtles way down in the pond were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came. They obeyed. From all over the pond they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins. And all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another they climbed up the stack. Then Yeartle the turtle was perched so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. Hooray, shouted Yeartle, I'm the king of the trees, king of the birds, and king of the bees, and king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yeartle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. Then again from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan from the plain little turtle named Mac. Your majesty, please, I don't like to complain, but down here below we are feeling great pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down here on the bottom we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it, our shells are back. Besides, we need food, we are starving, Grand Mac. You hush up your mouth, howled the mighty King Yeartle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no, nothing that's higher than me. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise the moon of the evening was starting to rise. Up over his head in the darkening skies, what's that? Snorted Yeartle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yeartle the king? I shall not allow it, I shall go higher. I'll build my throne higher, and I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles, I'll stack them to heaven. I need about 5,607. But as Yeartle the turtle lifted his hand and started to order and give a command, that plain little turtle, whose name was just Mac, decided he had taken enough, and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad, and that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, and his burp shook the throne of the king. As Yeartle the turtle, king of the trees, the king of the air, and the birds and the bees, the king of the house, a cow and a mule, well, that was the end of Turtle King's rule, for Yeartle the king of the Salaman song fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today the great Yeartle, that marvelous he, is the king of the mud, that is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles and maybe all creatures should be.